Hey boys, what's up? I'm back with a different sort of video this time, and with like the test match passing and Origin coming up, I felt like going on the fan hub and I was like, you know what, let's create like my ultimate team. Let's create a team that I think is the best in the comp, in my opinion, obviously. So I did that pretty quickly. I'm thinking about this for a while, but I put it together pretty quickly. I probably missed a couple of players, but yeah, let's get into the lineup. So at fullback, it was a pretty tough decision, honestly. It was obviously down to Billy Slater or Tuivasa-Sheck, but I don't know, like, I couldn't go past Tuivasa-Sheck. He's so good to watch, and every game I see him play, he's getting like better and better. Like the game just passed. The Roosters weren't looking that good until like Tuivasa-Sheck got hold of the ball and just like carved the Bulldogs up. It was pretty dominant display, honestly. And I didn't go with Billy Slater probably for the fact that he's getting a bit older, so Tuivasa-Sheck's gonna be around for the next 10 years. I mean, he's gonna be the best fullback for a long time, in my opinion. It was out of those two, and Tuivasa-Sheck just came out on top. On the wingers were pretty tough, honestly. So the one that was easier was Daniel Tupou. But I was thinking, like, who are the wingers? Like, who are New Zealand's wingers? You got Vatuvei, and I was thinking about putting Vatuvei in, but he's just, I don't know, he's way too inconsistent for me, and he's not. Yeah, I wouldn't have him in my number one side. And then on the other wing, I have Nightingale, who, again, I don't rate Nightingale that highly. He's good, but he's not that amazing. And then I thought, well, who's Queensland wing is going to be? Darius Boyd and Will Chambers. Both of those guys don't play on the wing to start with, so I didn't really want to put any of those two on the wings because I'd like to keep the team, like, in their natural positions. And then I thought, well, who are New South Wales wingers? So obviously Tupou's going to be one. And I consider him probably the best winger in the game at the moment. But who else? Who's going to be the other one? People are saying James McManus, who, as a Queensland supporter, I really hope they pick McManus because I don't rate him very well. And the other one, and this is the guy I was tossing up, is Josh Mansour. I think he's a really good winger. But I've actually gone with David Mead, who I don't even know if he's really in contention for New South Wales, but he played really good for country at fullback this year and also last year. He's been like one of the Titans' best for the last few seasons. He's just got that just amazing pace, and he's just, I don't know, I just really like David Mead, so I went with Mead and Tupou. The centers were a lot easier. Justin Hodges won. I mean, I still feel really sorry for Justin Hodges that he didn't get to play for Australia this year. Honestly, I can't believe he wasn't picked. I think he's the best centre in the game, bar none. Obviously, it's so crazy. Like, he's come back from so many injuries and he hasn't lost his pace. He hasn't lost his strength. A lot of players come back from like long-term injuries after injury and they don't come back the same player. But Hodges, he's just continued to be like the best centre in the game. So easy pick. And then Greg Inglis, obviously. I mean, I guess he was my other pick for fullback, but I knew I could slot Inglis in at centre because he's a known centre, really. He's obviously going to play centre for Queensland, and yeah, it was just easy choice. Then we move on to the halves. So Jonathan Thurston, number one, 5'8", without a doubt, had to be there. Easy choice. The halfback, I went with Cooper Cronk. It was a bit of a tough decision. I mean, I could have had someone like a Sean Johnson, halfback. Golden boot from last year. So, and he played really good in the test match, You could argue he could be there. I went with Cronk though. Just because, yeah, I still rate Cronk probably the best halfback in the game. He just controls the team really well. I mean, other choices, like obviously Cherry Evans is another one. But then like someone that I thought of a bit later, who could possibly be the halves combination for my team, would be like Jonathan Thurston, Michael Morgan, because Morgan has just been absolutely outstanding this year at 5'8". Like, he was amazing at fullback last year, and I think he's gone even better this year at 5'8", so that's a smoky to get in the Queensland side. I don't think he will. I think he should be on the bench instead of Cherry Evans, but he probably will have to wait a couple of years to get his opportunity. Then we go into the front rowers. So at hooker, obviously Cameron Smith. He's the best hooker in the game. You know, he controls the game, his leadership, but also his attacking ability, his kicking game, his defense. He's just the number one package play, you know. If Thurston's the best player in the game, Smith is not far behind him. But then we got Jesse Bromwich, and well, we got Bromwich and Matt Scott, and I would rate these two pretty even as the best front rowers in the game. I know a lot of people were giving Scott like a bit of shit about the test match, like his stats didn't look very good, but you gotta remember, like, Tim Sheens didn't play him. He played like 20 minutes of the game. I couldn't work it out. Like, people were saying, look at his stats, he hardly ran for any meters and he hardly made any runs, but he had like 20 minutes game time. I don't know if he was injured or what, but Tim Sheens didn't play him. And yeah, I still think he's one of the best front rowers. He's going to show that in this year's Origin series. So yeah, I think these two pick themselves best front rowers in the game. The back row, you know, it's pretty tough. There's a lot of good forwards out there, but there were probably two easy ones. Jason Taumalolo. I mean, I consider him probably the best back rower in the game. He's so damaging. I think his defense this year has come leaps and bounds from where it was. That was probably the one aspect that people were saying he was lacking, but he's just so devastating. And then Corey Parker was the other easy one. He's just someone that's getting better with age. It's ridiculous. I mean, a few years ago, he was probably just a good solid first grade player. Like a while ago probably, but the last few years he's really come along. Like, he's not the biggest fella. He's obviously strong and he's obviously pretty built, but the ability to stand in tackles and offload is just bar none. He's just an offload freak, really. And then I've gone with Alex Glenn, who I just really like Alex Glenn as a player. He's not only got like, he's not the biggest forward again, but he's just got the footwork, he's got the speed, but he's also got the defense. Like, he's a pretty good hitter in defense, and I just like having back rowers who can ball play a bit. And I think all these back rowers can do offloads, they can pass, and they're pretty quick. So good back row in my opinion. And then the bench is pretty good as well. So we got Andrew Fafita, another New South Wales player. I thought I'd throw in a couple of New South Wales players. I didn't want to be too biased, but I think Andrew Fafita is pretty high up on the front rowers list. He's probably a bit behind like Scott and Jesse Bromwich at the moment, but yeah, he's pretty damaging. Like, he's another one that's got good footwork for a massive man. He's the ability to pass and offload, really good, and he's actually got really good fitness for a massive guy. Like, he doesn't look that fit, but he can like play like 70-80 minutes occasionally, so he'd provide pretty good impact off the bench. Then I've gone with Aiden Guerra, who, yeah, I thought he played really good last year in the Origin series. I think he's going to be even better this year. I mean, when he was out with injury for the Roosters looked so much less dangerous in attack. As soon as Guerra came back, he just provided that extra dimension. You know, he's got, again, I'll say it again, he's got the footwork. He's pretty quick. You know, he's that lean, muscular back rower who's really good on his foot, really good on his feet. He can offload. Defense is solid. Just really like Guerra. He's a great player. And then I've had to go with Isaac Luke. I consider him the second best hooker in the game. Better than Robbie Farah in my opinion. And I feel like Isaac Luke could provide pretty good impact on the bench as like a ball runner, as like a lock or a second row. You know, he's a little fella, but he's a tough and he's a strong man. His defense is solid. Like, he can play, you know, he can play 80 minutes. I mean, I'd have no problem him coming on back row. And then And then we go to old Martin Tapau, my last interchange player, and I just couldn't pass up Tapau, you know. Love watching him play. Some games he annoys me a bit with his carry on, but when he just plays and he plays hard, he's one of the best forwards to watch. You know, he can come in on the back row, he can come in as a prop, it wouldn't really matter. He's just got so much power. It's pretty impressive. So yeah, that's my ultimate team, I guess you'd say. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to leave in the comments who your top 13 would be, or any changes you'd make to my team, I'm always open to hear some suggestions. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.